What's going on, everybody? So, uh, we got some things going on today.
We ourselves.
Listen up, people. And I'm gonna start you with this one.
It's a joke. Everything's racist. Just because somebody thinks differently than you does not make them a racist. Okay. And when you continually keep calling people racist, what you're actually doing is diminishing the experiences that real people that lived through eras like that actually had.
Don, black people need to hold other black people accountable. I said this the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement. If anything is going to change, we ourselves need to look at our own communities and look at each other and say, this thing cannot go down.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
No,
You don't.
no, I don't. Hey, you and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it?
They were fighting for us to have the right to our opinion, not the right to vote for whoever the white liberals said black people are supposed to vote for.
I was a radical in terms of the civil rights movement. I was not a supporter of Martin Luther King, but more a supporter of Malcolm X. The welfare state has done to black Americans
I got it right.
what slavery could not have done, Jim Crow and the harshest racism could not have done, namely to destroy the black family.
It starts in the home. If the father's not in the home, the boy will find the father in the streets. Yeah.
7 out of every 10 black babies born in the United States are born out of wedlock.
Oh, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's run it back. Run it back. Woo.
Now, it's a
True.
joke. Everything's racist. Just because somebody
True.
thinks differently than you does not make them a racist.
Truth,
Okay?
y'all.
And when you continually keep calling people racist,
Call it
what
spade
you're
a
actually
spade.
doing is diminishing the experiences that real people that lived through eras like that actually had.
Don, black people need to hold other black people accountable. I said this the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement. If anything is going to change, we ourselves need to look at our own communities and look at each other and say, this thing cannot go down.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
Today? No.
You don't.
No,
Fuck
I
no.
don't.
Mama,
Hey, you and I, we're proof.
we're proof.
Why would race have anything to
We
do
made
with
it.
They were fighting for us to have the right to our opinion, not the right to vote for whoever the white liberals said black people are supposed to vote for.
I was a radical in terms of the civil rights movement. I was not a supporter of Martin Luther King, but more a supporter of Malcolm X. The welfare state has done to black Americans what slavery could not have done, Jim Crow and the harshest racism could not have done, namely to destroy the black family.
It starts in the home. If the father's not in the home, the boy will find the father in the streets.
Cool, man.
7 out of every 10
Appreciate
black babies born in the United States are born out of wedlock. And yet, in Africa, where the experience of slavery was not endured, you have the strongest commitment to the complementarity of man and woman in marriage.
And people have not pointed out to you the challenge of freedom. And what do people do with freedom when they don't know how to handle it? They reinvent their oppression, even as it has faded away.
You can't control the outcome, but you are 100% in control of the effort. And before you get mad at somebody else for what you think they've done to you, go to the nearest mirror, look into it and say, what could I do to change the outcome? And he also said, no matter how good you are, no matter how hard you work, sooner or later, bad things are going to happen. How you respond to those bad things will tell your mom and me whether or not we raised a man.
There is a class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs.
Oh, I think we're in the second or third generation where men have been pushed out of families, and the kids are responding to that, and the responses are quite negative. The There are some very specific programs, and in retrospect, that were developed that were in line to destroy with Black families.
My fellow Americans, ours has never been a narrative of grievance and entitlement. We have never believed that I am doing poorly because you are doing well. We have never been jealous of one another and never envious of each other's successes.
And brothers, I respectfully say to each of us who have thrown some sperm somewhere and have a child somewhere, you're not a good person.
But at the end of the day, the leading blacks lead the corporations, and the leading blacks have gotten paid while we have gotten played.
What we need is for people to realize, I want to raise my kid. I want to go back and get my 3 kids. I want to take on that responsibility.
The lifting up of the woman does not require the tearing down of the man.
What is it about the ideology of the Republican Party that attracted you to it?
The basic theoretical notion of personal responsibility. If you stay the correct course, then you will reap the benefits of that. And I believe that, the platform of the Republican Party gives individuals that mindset.
99% of cops are really good dudes and women. I've 99% of the people I've met that are cops are dope. I have a lot of friends that are cops.
Who is killing these Black victims? Not whites, not the police, but other Blacks.
3 of my nephews got shot in the head. My cousin, he got shot up in the chest part. So overall, there were 6 family members murdered. None of the cases have been solved.
Blacks are convinced that the #1 issue facing the country right now is social justice, racist white cops, discrimination, systemic racism, microaggression, whatever new word they come up with, and it's a bunch of nonsense.
And we know that you're not concerned about justice, because if you was concerned about justice, you would be concerned about justice and all those other black-on-black cases that exist in Black America. So we can't say that y'all really down for justice.
A lot of females, they feel like with me, I feel like a man is supposed to uphold the household. They're supposed to pay all the bills, make sure we're good. So if we want to be a stay-at-home mom, we can. A lot of men out here aren't like that anymore. I blame it on their moms. They weren't raised the same. They weren't raised to be good men. So
we should not be fornicating outside of marriage in the first place. This will prevent a lot of the problem. Fornication is the problem here. We just need to close our legs, close the shop.
And if you can put into our kids that don't have a father because of policies of Democratic policies, don't have a way of getting a job because of Democratic policies, don't have any hope because of Democratic messaging, and all you do is put in anti-white, anti-women, anti-American, anti-family, what's going to happen when you have these kids?
The mechanism. Why does the welfare state dissolve the family structure?
For one thing, it makes it unnecessary for fathers to support their offspring. And in fact, it makes it counterproductive in many cases.
As a result of the absence of my father, I was drafted into a street gang when I was 12. I had a gun in my hand when I was 13, a .38 revolver. It was given to me by a gang to murder another teenager.
Funny.
Black America is in the midst of a profound crisis of moral and cultural authority, precisely because a vision of what a family should be has been lost.
And I'm gonna make a video about the NFL players saying the stupidest stuff that I've ever seen. But they're in a video saying, I'm Michael Brown, I'm Philando Castile, I'm Breonna Taylor. Are you really? Are you really? You live in a multi-million-dollar house. You making millions of dollars. You're making people's whole salary in one football game. Are you really like Breonna Taylor? Are you knee deep in the dope game? Do you have a search warrant for your arrest at your residence? Oh, you don't? Well, then you're not Breonna Taylor. Oh, were you fighting with the police officer in the middle of the street for his firearm and got shot dead? Then you're not Michael Brown.
I have a saying that excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. And there's plenty of black men in particular who got plenty of excuses as to why they're not involved and more, you know, around their children.
I believe that you have the best results when you have two parents in the home. Certainly economically you do. All the research bears out that when you have two parents in the home, the family saves more, does better, etc.
You can't just be talking about slavery every day. It ended in 1865. This is 2020. We got to press forward rather than looking in the past and saying, oh, well, woe was me because of slavery.
Right.
The number one problem domestically facing this country is a breakdown of the family. And President Obama said it. I didn't.
There's no more important ingredient for success. Nothing that would be more important for us reducing violence.
Exactly.
Than strong, stable families.
Right.
Which means we should do more to promote marriage.
Yes, sir.
And encourage fatherhood.
Value.
Everyone around me tried to pick my candidate for me.
Exactly.
And then told me every time I said I like Trump that I couldn't say it out loud or my career would be over. I get kicked out the black community because we're supposed to have a monolithic thought. We can only be Democrats.
Obama tore this country down. No one stood up to him. Nobody. Because he was black. You need to wake up.
House nigga. I didn't call you a nigga. Oh, okay. That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
And Uncle Tom is somebody who has sold out by embracing the white man.
Uncle Tom,
Bedouins,
bootlicker,
black white supremacists,
Chucking and jiving,
house,
Chucking and jiving,
Uncle Tom, coon.
It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it.
Something. Fuck up.
Kanye West says he is in it to win it as he opens up for the very first time since talking about his White House run.
In a quote, the rapper and performer says, I am taking the red hat off. This is in an interview with Forbes magazine. I'm not saying Trump's in my way. He may be a part of my way. And Joe Biden, like, come on, man, please.
Come on,
man. Obama's special.
Hey, Joe Biden.
We say Kanye West is special. America needs special people that lead. Bill Clinton, special. Joe Biden's not special.
All right, here to react, National Press Secretary for the Trump 2020 campaign, who would also say Joe Biden is not special. I'll just jump ahead to the final answer there, is Hogan Gidley. Hogan's made the transition from the White House to the campaign. Hogan, first off, Mick Mulvaney yesterday said if it's...
Let me stop that one because I didn't want to show that one. I wanted to do something else. What's going on? I appreciate you. I'll drop that link and we can continue. All right. If you're not busy, I'll drop that link. But if you are busy, apologize. I did the wrong time. But you're probably not busy. You're probably at headquarters. Hidden location. Attitude, longitude. I don't know. Link is down. Link is down. Boom. Ooh. Exactly. Again. Looks like we got somebody here.
What's up? Haven't seen you in a while, man.
Yeah, man.
Imagine you've been busy.
Man, yeah, I've been busy, man. I've been trying to get some things together, you know. Trying to
Been
make some
watching some
things
streams from DC, and shit's crazy out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. A lot of things going on right now. You know, I mean, we open it back up. We about like phase 4. You know. But yeah, they burning all our shit up, man. Say nothing, but I mean, you know, hey, that some of that stuff was gonna come. That was like, man. I was in the lift the other day, dude. My lift driver he was like, yeah, I'm proud they burnt that one down. I'm like, man. Oh, it was hilarious. I said, is that right? I didn't even know what to say.
That he's proud that he's burning things down?
He's proud that they knocked that statue down. Statues, but when they burnt and took down Albert Pike statue, to be specific.
Do they even know who Frederick Douglass is?
He had to. We're in the same fraternity, but he's on the quote unquote opposing side. But we everybody doesn't play those games in my fraternity. I was just like, he was just like, well, we both were brothers and friends, and we're not really involved in all that political stuff. Yeah, they got politics and fraternities too. So we was like, well, we could at least agree that we in crazy times right now. And,
yeah.
Yeah, we not necessarily. When it comes to fraternities, it's funny because a lot of them, they base it on politics, and a lot of them say you can't even talk about politics when you're involving a brother or a sister or a comrade, your pal. You know, you're supposed to talk about that. It can divide you and get you caught up in a situation in which you won't even be friends. But I say that I think about that a lot because I got a good friend. His mom is on the Trump side. He's also black. His mom is on the Trump side, but he ain't voting for Joe Biden. He told me that. He said he just said he needs to know more about Trump. He doesn't reject him because he's like a businessman. So a lot of business guys like him, but you know, I think at least some people could look at a different perspective. That's what I say.
Well, some people just genuinely don't like how Trump talks, which is understandable.
You're right.
But
like
then you have,
whole Goya thing, man. This whole Goya thing. What's going on, man?
It's freaking ridiculous. Now you have all these people.
It's my cat.
Your cat?
It's in my cabinet. Goya seed.
That was it was awesome. I pointed out a while ago that President Alamo loves Donald Trump because President Alamo sent a letter to Nancy Pelosi during the impeachment saying, please stop this silliness. You know, get back to that trade deal that we've been waiting on for a year because Trump is actually trying to help us. And then he's actually praising Trump while he's signing this executive order on DACA, which is what Trump has been trying to do the entire time. President Goya Foods comes out and says, man, I'm so happy that Donald Trump is president because he's making life in Mexico so much better.
Yeah. So when I asked my grandmother about it, she was like, oh yeah, because the president of Goya is glorifying Trump. And I said, that's it? He said, well, that's enough for me. I'm like, oh my God. Come on. So he can't do nothing good. Nothing good. If you start touching things in your household that you still got in the cabinet to this day, I'm gonna keep using Goya. But as one of my good friends said, the right wing one of my right wing friends, he's right wing angel on Instagram is his is his handle. But he told me buy Goya, promote that, share that. If you don't, it'll go against the message that you just letting things happen. You just letting the cancel culture. You just letting it happen. Sitting back on well, you've been using this for years, but you can have my Uncle Ben's. You can have my. Let's make a list. You can have my Uncle Ben's. You can have my cream of wheat. You can have my Goya. You can have my Aunt Jemima. You can have my Miss Buttersworth. What else?
No one's going off after Betty Crocker.
Betty Crocker.
So basically, what you get from that is that whites win again, right? Betty Crocker still standing.
Even Captain Crunch is a white man that looks like it. I mean, come on. Who cares?
They're destroying their own heritage, destroying their own community,
destroying their own everything.
It is the. I
They're
mean, this
turning into a Marxist communist country in which the packaging can only look like the idea in which your political narrative says. That's what happens when you're in these third world countries, and all the cans of beans and cereal are your dictator. Like, come on, we're on the way to that, and they don't really see that that's exactly what it's going to be. You won't be able to get nothing in the store unless it says Black Lives Matter cereal. I mean, it's going to get that bad if we don't understand what's going on based on the cancel culture narrative.
There is no way they'll let Black Lives Matter cereal fly. They'll destroy that too, along with all the black businesses that are selling them.
Black Lives Matter cereal, Black Lives Matter noodles, ramen noodles is coming. It's Black Lives Matter chips. They're coming. They already got the rapper chips. That's coming next. I'm trying to tell you. I don't want to give them no ideas. So if you're listening, I'm sorry, but hey, we're coming after you. Try to push that, trust me. But speaking of that, is it hate crime for you to try to paint over Black Lives Matter with black paint? Now it's hate crime. Now it's a hate crime that says that they say. I don't agree.
This is why I tell people that I inherently don't trust a law enforcement officer.
But you could spray paint FUCK, the police.
Yeah.
FUCK,
ironically,
you could kill the police right on, and that's not a hate crime, huh? Kill the police.
The police in these metropolitan areas, they're being used as useful idiots, absolute idiots, because the smart police are the ones that are walking off the job saying, I'm getting the F out of here. You guys are on your own, moving my family elsewhere. But these cops are literally protecting the people that want to kill the cops. And the cops are then attacking the people that want to support the cops.
Ooh. You just gave me I'm gonna show you that specific example. When these guys that tried to take over an interstate, a Black Lives Matter protest, and then they mess around and get hit, and then need the highway patrol police to do the investigation on them. After they get hit, they called the police, and the only people that responded and found the guy, a 20-something-year-old that hit the protesters, and he was black. So it didn't necessarily fit the narrative, but it did fit the narrative because he hit him. But they're trying to say he didn't move out the way, but he did. But hey, he got a load on his side.
You're not supposed to be dancing in the middle of the highway in the middle of the night.
Nobody had no lights. Nothing was lit up.
The dude was flying down the highway.
No police was giving you a sign off saying we got a protest on the.
They're trying to charge that dude for murder, and it's ridiculous because he's driving along. Suddenly he sees disabled vehicles in the middle of the street, so he does the natural thing and try to swerve out of them. And there's all these idiots, hiding in the dark right in front of him, and he couldn't stop.
This is great.
And something like this happened a couple years ago, but it wasn't as big a news. There were a bunch of I think it happened like in 2017. A bunch of idiots in California were walking into the street and they were chanting something like education, not immigration, or something like shit like that. They walk out into the street. A car slams into one of them because they couldn't stop in time. And then suddenly everybody in the street's like, get out of the street. Like, you idiots just walked into the street. You caused this problem. You just now realize why your parents beat your ass when you're 5 years old and kept playing in the parking lot.
Right. I just found it. But man, this is getting to a point where, do you know what part of the police force you want to defund? Exactly. 50%. Pause. 50%. Okay. 50% of everything. Everybody. Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it in 24 hours. Yes. 50% of people, mostly minorities, no working, no jobs. Cool. No pensions. You're not even paying for that.
They're defunding the police. They're defunding the police in the communities that need it the most, because those aldermans, that local municipal government, the mayors, whoever you want to call them, they're going to keep their police. Just like in Minneapolis, they unanimously said, "Okay, disband all the police," and we're not hearing anything out of Minneapolis. And as soon as they disband all the police,
the chief of police in Minneapolis is having scrutiny because she got rid of Chaz. So
no, that you mean that's Seattle.
Oh yeah, that's Seattle. My bad. Oh,
no,
Minneapolis.
These liberal cities are running together because they're all doing the same stupid shit together, one right after another, like they're not learning. Minneapolis gets rid of its police force. The government hires its own private protection.
So they want to use social workers instead of police. What are you gonna do with somebody that's? What are you gonna do with somebody that's armed? Social work them down. Like, yeah, it was reality. Come on. Like, seriously, what are you gonna do? Like, that's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. But 1 second. Find this one. I definitely didn't want to do this.
Have you gotten any copyright strikes yet?
No, because I think lately specific people have been taking them down if they watch your content and they don't care. It depends on if they actually click on the video and tell them to do it based on a specific your line of followers.
So when you get larger, like I've already had several copyright claims, copyright ID claims. There's a lot of bots that go through and actually search for this stuff. They're pretty easy to fight. It's just most people don't make that effort. They don't know how. I'm gonna have to show you how.
Yes, you will, because if I use if I keep using major platforms, I only got one from the news ever. But usually now, lately, when I show the news, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work.
So you just have to dispute the claim and cite fair use and say that you're using it for educational purposes and education and reaction purposes.
Oh, okay. Education. Gotcha. Education and reaction. Go.
Can somebody explain this to me? This video is brought to you by The Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live.
Every time that change something.
Around barricades and was doing stuff we shouldn't have done.
There we go.
Can somebody explain this to me? This video is brought to you by The Oxitative Store. The Oxitative Store. Get the merch link.
I appreciate everybody that's joining this, watching this,
Anytime I go live,
in this,
make sure to still subscribe to this channel.
watching it, and it's not live for you, but you are casting in back.
Let's get into this.
Clicking onto the link, I appreciate
Somebody
it.
explain to me, how does it make any sense to protest on the I-5 in Seattle, Washington at nighttime? No reflective vests, fake barricaded vehicles with no lights on, no hazard material, nothing. No flares, no nothing. How does that make sense? And then you wonder why somebody doesn't plow through people on the freeway. Now, let's talk about this for a minute, because I got a lot to say. I have a lot to say. And I'm not going to play the video because it's fairly gruesome. You can see the video exploding around the internet. But in Seattle, I don't know who organized this. I don't know if it was the people. I don't know if it was the government that allowed these people to be on a freeway.
I mean, that's so true, though.
Seattle was trying to defend the protesters.
Come on. Of course. They're protected.
What are you protesting?
They're protected by their counterparts.
What are you
We can be wrong and do wrong.
George Floyd,
and if you hurt us,
he dead. He in the grave. What are you doing?
mob.
This is the thing. When police officers lose their lives, you fly the flag at half staff. You wear the blue line through the badge
for 2 weeks.
And when that officer is laid to rest,
that's it.
You take the thing off and you fly the flag at the
Over
proper
there.
staff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why is it that when y'all's martyr gets laid to rest, y'all still out here protesting? It makes no sense. Second of all, if you are a city leader, how do you think this is going to end well by blocking one of the busiest freeways in America, the I-5? I believe the I-5 go from Mexico to Canada,
literally,
right through Portland, through Seattle,
through the country.
I've been to
literally.
Seattle probably 20 times, driven on the I-5. The I-5 is the busiest freeway, one of the busiest freeways I ever been on. And then you add nighttime, then you add Seattle. It's always overcast, dew, mist in Seattle. So it's probably impossible for someone to see people wearing dark clothes standing in the middle of the freeway. Number 3, what are you doing with these barricades? They got 3 cars parked across the freeway, not the whole freeway, just a part of the freeway. No lights on, no nothing. It's in the freeway. And then the people aren't even standing near the barricades. So this guy is driving down the freeway. He swerves to miss cars parked in the middle of the freeway. Then there's people on the shoulder. So he swerved to miss the people on the shoulder because they're on the side of the freeway. He ended up driving around them and running into 2 ladies that was standing in the middle of the freeway. These are all young people. The driver was in his 20s and the 2 women are in their 20s. One of them is in critical condition. She may not make it. The other one has serious injuries. Now,
one has already died so
number
far.
4, why have they not plastered this person's image?
The other one got serious injury.
What a white supremacist. People are claiming that it's intentional and all this other stuff. Because rumor has it that he's black, that it's a black man that was on the freeway to end up running over these people.
It don't fit the narrative.
So all of this narrative, and it could be wrong, but I read a few articles that said that it was a black man. But who knows? Who knows? Fake news is everywhere. Let's go to number 5. As a former police officer, if anybody were to decide, any regular person were to decide to go onto the freeway for any reason, you can accidentally ride your bicycle on the freeway, you are going to get a charge. You are going to be stopped by highway patrol. You cannot get onto the freeway. And you definitely can't walk on the freeway.
You can go 80 miles.
You can't even walk in the middle of a public thoroughfare. You're the middle of the street. You will get a ticket. You get on the freeway, you will get a ticket. But all of a sudden, if you protested, you do whatever you want to do. You can put your life in danger, put everybody else's life in danger. You can do whatever you want to do. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen, riddle me this. How is it that some people's constitutional rights can trump other people's constitutional rights? How is that possible? Your constitutional rights end when it begins to obstruct another person's constitutional rights. There is no way in the world that people should be able to stand on a freeway blocking other people's access to the road that they pay for, to go to a job that they need, to get paid to feed their family. How on God's green earth is it okay that people just protest and block roadways?
I was asking that for me.
That's not normal.
If I hit somebody,
that's not okay. That's criminal.
And
what? These liberal cities?
Like, what do I do? Do we? I have to look this up. I'm gonna look this up.
Should be
after
arrested.
This broadcast.
All of these political
leaders,
all of these city leaders, city manager, the mayor, city council, anybody that allowed these things like Chaz Zone and people blocking the freeway.
Is there a line of lawyers that'll protect you against,
criminally liable?
Let's say,
you are vicariously responsible,
or
you hold
protesters
responsibility for what happened in your city.
Trying to harm you,
allow stupid
and you
stuff
are self-defending.
Multiple shootings in the Chaz Zone,
in whatever way.
Multiple people killed.
Multiple
rapes, arson,
hit somebody with a car,
all kinds of behaviors.
Firearm.
They let just go on and on in the Chaz Zone.
Is there
people
any
died because
group of lawyers or are lawyers even willing to take this on?
From the mayor,
like are any lawyers
how you have no responsibility
willing to take on that kind of heat or whatever you want to call it?
On the freeway for
it depends. Like when you look at what happened in St. Louis, Ken and Karen there, they had their house raided while they were gone.
They don't have
Yep, got that video coming up on. They had that. Yeah, they had their house raided. Got that video coming up right after.
That's disgusting. That's why I'm having.
That's why I got them. That's why I got them right now. Like I had to get the patches. Like I'm supporting. Like it's wrong. You know,
incredibly wrong.
And they locked them up. You know,
this is why I say why I don't really trust law enforcement. These law enforcement in these cities, they're backing the wrong people.
It is out of control.
You know, when those rioters busted down that dude's gate, there was no cops there to stop that. But where were the cops? The cops came afterwards to stop the man from defending himself.
I'm gonna make a video about her too.
These cops are.
So you're a lawyer. You're lawyers. You get your house raided as lawyers.
When 99% of that conversation, she was being kind to
what next?
Saying, "Look, I love you. I care about you. This is a misunderstanding."
It seems to me,
threaten to want to pull out
the
of the
closer
car,
you are to
down,
conservatism,
and defend herself.
It's just easy peasy for you to get the house
seems appropriate to me.
raided.
If you feel like your life could be in danger,
Just like guys in the government.
You don't need to wait on the police.
Your boy had his house raided, and then they tried to make him lie about. The FBI tried to make him lie, and then they threw out the case.
With tag vests on, talking about gonna burn your house down. You come out with your AR saying, "Get from around here."
Right. Exactly.
If you white, you're in trouble.
Yes.
You black, you're a hero.
Yes.
You'll be on CNN right now.
Yes.
You are a hero.
Oh, run that back. Run that back.
Barricading you in, they can't let you leave.
What
you don't need to wait on the police. That's what you got your own gun for. Your own rights. They want to put these people in jail. These people tear down a fence, come into a gated community with tag vests on, talking about they're gonna burn your house down. You come out with your AR saying, get from around here.
Right.
If you white, you in trouble. If you black, you're a hero. You'll be on CNN right now.
Exactly.
You are a hero. I'm tired of this, y'all. I am tired. I am sick of it. And I'm gonna tell you this, and some people may not like me saying this. Hey man, when you on the freeway doing that, you gonna get what you get. And if that man was driving his car and he went around barricades and was doing stuff he shouldn't have done, then he gonna get what he gonna get. But at the end of the day, man, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
Thank you.
You a 20-some-year-old person. Get your butt off the freeway. Stop all this protesting. It ain't getting you nowhere. George Floyd dead. That man in the grave. His body rotting at this point. And y'all still out here being stupid. Defund the police. Defund the police.
His body
Defund the police. Who's the first person you call? Police, help us. Help us. Help us. Go sit your narrow behind down. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. All of these people need a whooping. That's what they missing in life. It should have got a whooping. They'd got a whooping like they supposed to, and then they wouldn't be out here. Anyway, I could talk about this for 45 more minutes. But I want you to watch the rest of my videos.
Hey, but continue, because I had a real important video I did want to show based on the kids that have died from the 4th of July weekend, because one of the kids, I knew one.
Oh wow!
So, yeah,
So-
that one, and my old chief of police was on the news, and that was his grandson. And he was,
Wow.
so that's everything is too close to home to be reality for things to happen bad to individuals that didn't deserve it and are not getting the proper publicity or whatever you want to call it. Needs to be heard. So, yeah.
Wow.
11-year-old in DC got gunned down. Bullet went through his head. Didn't deserve it at all. That's all I got to say about that one.
I did a stream. I did a special stream about things that were going on down here in Atlanta with the Not Effing Around campaign or coalition.
Yep, and I don't agree with them.
There's just they work for.
I think they're a new age extension of the Black Panthers.
Yeah, no, they're a bunch of idiots.
Combined with the Hebrew Israelites. So that's what I think they are.
Anyway, I shared my screen with you, and this is in response to sending social workers.
Okay.
This is why I told you, like, if you get a copyright claim, this is easy to fight.
Okay.
But when we started talking about social workers, this is immediately what I started thinking about.
Where is it now?
It's gone back down to the cargo bay.
So this is a comedy show. It's gonna boggle your mind for a second, but they're talking about how to fight a vicious monster.
Sleeping off a 4-course meal of fear, vanity, guilt, and anger. You better get it before it comes back for seconds.
Look, just because it's an armor-plated alien killing machine that salivates unspeakable slobber doesn't mean it's a bad person. What we've got to do is get it round a table, put together a solution package, perhaps over tea and biscuits.
Look at him. You can't trust his opinion. He's got no anger. He's a total dork.
Good point, Crichton. Let's take that on board, shall we? David, do you have anything you want to bring to this forum?
Well, yes, I have actually, Arnold. Why don't we go down to the ammunition stores, get the nuclear warheads, and then strap one to my head? I'll knock the smegger to oblivion.
Right, well, that's very nice, David. Let's put that on the back burner, shall we? Kat, let's have your contribution. Come on.
Hey, don't ask me my opinion. I'm nobody. Just say I'm not here.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. Moving on a step, and I hope no one thinks that I'm setting myself up as a self-elected chairperson. Just see me as a facilitator. Crichton, what's your view? Don't be shy.
Well, I think we should send Lister in as a decoy. And while it's busy eating him alive, we can creep up on it unawares and blast it into the stratosphere.
Good plan. That's the best plan yet. Let it get knackered eating me to death.
And it's funny because I know who that is.
Unawares. Well, that's certainly an option, David, yes. But here's my proposal. Let's get tough. The time for talking is over. Call it extreme if you like, but I propose we hit it hard and hit it fast with a major, and I mean major, leaflet campaign. And while it's reeling from that, we follow up with a whisk drive, car boot sales, and street theatre, and possibly even some benefit concerts. Okay? Now, if that's not enough, I'm sorry, it's time for the t-shirts. Mutants out? Chameleonic life forms? No, thanks. And if that's not enough, well, I don't know what will be.
Has anyone ever told you that you are a disgusting, pus-filled bubo who has all the wit, charm, and self-possession of an Alsatian dog after a head swap operation?
Listen, you bunch of tarts. It's clobbering time! There's a body bag out there with that scuttball's name on it, and I'm doing up the zip. Anyone who gets in my way gets a napalm enemy.
I think everybody's right. Except me. So just forget I
I think we're all beginning to lose sight of the real issue here, which is what are we going to call ourselves? And I think it comes down to a choice between the League Against Salivating Monsters or my own personal preference, which is the Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and their Rehabilitation into Society. One drawback to that abbreviation is clitoris.
It needs killing. If that means I have to sacrifice my life in some stupid, pointless way, then all the better.
Yes, why not? I mean, even if it doesn't work, it'll still be a laugh.
Right, so just cut all of this business and get on with it. Last one alive's a wet ponce. Who's with me?
Well, the car stickers aren't ready till Thursday, but sometimes one just has to act spontaneously. People, let's go.
Hey, I'm going too.
That's how I imagine, how a social worker is going to try and approach this. Like, have them around for tea and biscuits, hit them with a leaflet campaign. Everybody else is just trying to figure out what's going on in their head.
It's crazy, man. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, and half of the time, man, sometimes I say it's cool. All right. You want to go with your echo chamber? That's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm like sincerely asking people to just do research. Small bits of research. And it's funny because I could get good friends that are on the left that actually agree with 75% of the things I say based on facts. Hey. And we got a friend. Come in.
Autumn.
Hi, guys.
Been a while since we all been together.
Well, and you're in the cellar making business happen.
What? What are you guys doing? Uh-oh.
We're chilling.
We're chilling.
About things. I brought up something that was slightly not relevant.
Supporting everything that's going on right now.
Shitballs. What?
Oh man.
We have the reverb on.
I got a few. I got a few of these, man. Patches, get you one. Hey, promoting. And if you didn't know, the Don is not dead. Oh man,
that's awesome.
Military patches. Put it on your vest. Put it on your military surplus gear. Get you some. I'll send you a link.
Where's the store?
The store is in my DM when you hit my Instagram.
Yikes.
@LLC. I'll shoot you that description and you'll go ahead and get that information. Gotcha. What's going on? What's new?
It's a little boomy. A lot of feedback.
I probably need my. Okay, that's what I need.
I tell you, it's really hot around here. It's hot.
You got an AC?
You know what? It's amazing. This house, it's way too big that we don't have AC in this heat wave. No.
A lot of houses in Southern California don't have air conditioners. It's considered a coastal community, and it's considered that they don't need it, which is a bit bizarre, but oh well.
I should make a song on it.
Okay. All right. I think I cut out the craziness. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Why I have so many things on?
Yeah.
Well, it's like my room actually has a very nice breeze coming out because there's a lake at the bottom. It's probably like a mile away. It's less than a mile away, but the house is just a disaster today. It's hot everywhere. I was like, I'm just gonna go to the beach and just stay there.
Hey, that's cool.
My cousin she went to the beach.
Cool idea.
I was jealous. Like people were really, they were very civil and like they were having a decent time at Mission Beach.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go there tomorrow.
No more quarantine.
Well, Newsom is, I passed by Applebee's yesterday and the people were outside. They don't have outdoor patio. So they were outside with the tables on the sidewalks and like the tables were almost in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? Because he said, no, you can't serve anybody unless you do outdoor dining is all. You got to close all the bars.
People are
that's
stay in business.
That's literally how McDonald's are doing. 50% of the McDonald's in Maryland are doing that, especially for the morning when you have breakfast. They want you to eat outside. You can eat at the tables outside, fine, long as they have tables outside. 50% of McDonald's in Maryland don't have tables outside, so that's just funny. But they still allow the ones in the inner city to operate normal. But the ones on the outskirts and the rural areas, they got them taped up and it's just it's separate but equal. Like it's just funny out here. The ones that are closest to the Waffle Houses are taped up and basically closest to the white people. It's all taped up and all that stuff. Oh, come on, are you serious? I gotta eat outside.
Wait, what do you mean they're taped up?
Well, I'm talking about to the point where they have tape where you can only walk in one way. They're barricaded where you can only come in and walk in and get your order and walk right out. Like, yeah.
So they're making sure you don't hang around.
Yeah, ain't no fining and dining. You gotta get up out of it. But the Waffle Houses are open, and that's different. The Waffle Houses, they set it up so you can dine, but
It's
can
very limited.
So you got a booth. They got the bar, of course. So you got a bar, you got the booth, 2 seats, and then you can sit down. 2 seats, and you can sit down. So they do the social distance. It's possible. So they make it so it's possible to open back up, but it's your discretion in which how you want to do your thing. They tell you if you could dine in or dine out. It's up to them. So mask, no mask, all that good stuff.
I don't know. I'm over the cooking the books and fudging the numbers. I just think I think California's starting to do the same kind of a bit that happened in New York with the nursing homes, because I was doing a meeting and I had the stats on it. Like what, out of 130 people in in the nursing home, 100 people have COVID-19. And
wonder how that happens.
Right.
Well, that's where the tin hat came out.
Conspiracies.
But no, I'm thinking that it's, what is it, Cuomo and his legislation or whatever, where they pull all the evidence down, like where you can't hardly trace what the heck they actually did. But I think they're trying to do some faction of it here. And here they're even counting gunshots as freaking COVID-19.
Wow.
Like crime is up, right?
Hey, it's up.
And the defund the police is more calls for defunding the police. And
we were just talking about that because one of the kids who got shot during one of the instances where the areas in which defunding is most hit. I know one of those kids.
It's horrible.
So it's
just aggravating. I'm
cool.
about to come off. I'm about to come off the record these days. Like, okay.
Mine as well.
I'm gonna come off not off the rails, but like, okay. Let's cut the BS right now.
Yeah. A lot of
cut
things.
The BS with the BLM and all this stuff. Just cut it.
We've been saying that though. You've been saying it, and you call us whatever you want for it, but in the long run, what is your plan? What is your goal? What is your ultimate goal? You already got your manifesto out. You want to break up the nuclear family, which means you want to break up the father, the mother, the child family.
But they've already done that. So how much worse
Right.
can they do?
That been happening. That been happening.
Yeah,
The
but I'm just
70s.
saying, you're gonna do even worse. You're gonna do.
They just want to make it concrete so you know what you're joining into. So if
No,
you
that's where I think the con is. I think it's more about targeting white people. That's what I think. It's about now we got to finish the rest of the country off.
the white liberals. Gosh. Yeah.
Well, the ideology targets itself.
Yeah, it's typical.
Yeah, the ideology is very self-destructive. They're killing. This has killed more black people than any cop has ever done.
Oh yeah, but they'll go finger paint all in every city in America, but they won't go finger paint Black Lives Matter in Chicago or Baltimore or Atlanta in the hood. Take your paint. You're gonna go finger paint that on the streets there?
Of course.
You know what? Atlanta mayor would let that happen. She's freaking useless. Because even when that 8-year-old girl was shot, she was still kind of like downplaying the police.
Oh yeah.
She's still trying to back BLM, but also saying, also not wanting to really enforce the police. It's freaking ridiculous. So she immediately pivots to COVID, saying, "Oh, I have COVID." Slip.
So pathetic.
So because I got COVID, everybody else has to be on curfew.
Right.
She's I don't know. I think she's incompetent, and I don't know how the hell she actually became mayor, because even her freaking airport announcement is a carbon copy of Kasim Reed. Yeah, like, lady, when are you going to show up to do the freaking job?
Tell me about it.
Anytime now.
Hey, I'm about to shoot this right now. While we in the middle of this, let me run it to the beginning.
BLM is the next great iteration of the KKK.
I believe so, because we're getting proud of burning things. We're getting really proud. We're getting really proud of burning things.
Burning down black communities.
We're getting proud of fire.
And they're in the churches. They're in the churches also.
You can't walk into your church without getting physically disabled.
On the demise and the sad state of affairs in some of these inner cities across the country. I mean, I am at a loss for words as to how I feel about young kids getting mowed down in the streets by thugs, gangbangers, and unnecessary violence. And the one that touched me the most is the Sicaria's situation. The young girl who's in the backseat of her mom's car in Georgia, going close to where Rayshard Brooks was killed at. They got off the on-ramp. There was a barricade put up by BLM protesters. And as they were turning around to leave, shots started being fired. Initially, I thought, and I think a lot of people were reporting, that they shot directly at her car, but that wasn't necessarily the case. I think it was a shootout between two individuals. Multiple shots hit her car, and the young girl, Sicaria, got shot in the process. She literally told her mom, "Mom, I'm hit." She died in her mom's arms. I mean, it breaks my heart to think about that, because I have a child. And I could not begin to imagine the feeling that I would have if some senseless nuts decide they're going to shoot each other, two black people shooting each other, and end up resulting in the death of my child. I wouldn't be able to deal, man. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. And so my prayers go out to her family. And she's not the only one. Even that day, she wasn't the only one that lost her life. There were several other people that died, and multiple people were shot. But the reason why I'm making this video primarily, because I want us as a community to support her mother, because that is a tough loss. Not only is it going to be difficult burying your own child, but to even proceed after that. And so there's a GoFundMe for her family. We've communicated with her family. I'll put the link in the description section. So if you find it on your heart to support them, go to the description section, link in the GoFundMe, and donate. Let me say this, because I'm trying not to get emotional when I talk about this. And I'm going to talk about the other young people who have lost their lives to gun violence in the inner city. But let's talk about this for a minute. They raised tens of millions of dollars for George Floyd.
Right.
In a matter of weeks. Last time I checked Sicaria's GoFundMe, it was at, I don't know, maybe $1,000. A young girl loses her life, they only get $2,000, $3,000. This grown man who made poor decisions on his part that led him in a position to be in the interaction with this police officer. And he gets millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. What about Sicaria's family? What about her mom and dad? There was an innocent little girl. And where's Black Lives Matter? Where are y'all at? Can't even get no real money raised for the girl. It just breaks my heart, man. It makes me so frustrated, man. And that's not the only situation that has happened. There, in a span of, I think, 2 weekends, we had 9 kids whose lives were taken. Just
I know one of
them. Fools doing drive-bys at barbecues. Come on, man. And what does the same politicians say? We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Y'all been saying this for decades. What are you actually going to do? Clearly, gun legislation don't work. Chicago is the strictest gun laws in the country, and they have the most gun violence.
And DC.
What are you going to really do? Now, I'll tell you what you should be doing. You should be changing the narrative. You should be holding people accountable. You should take your behind in the community and talk to the people that you work for and say enough is enough. This no snitching stuff is over. We need to focus on us. Stop worrying about them doggone police. We don't need to be defunded. This is what the leaders should be saying in that city. We don't need to be worried about defunding the police. We should be defunding the criminal element in our own communities first. They the one out here hurting our babies, not the police. It irks me. 2 weekends. More kids have been killed in the inner city in just 2 weekends than the last 2 years of police-involved shootings that have killed adult men who, majority of them are committing crimes. You're talking about in 2 weekends, we have more children die at the hands of thugs than we have adults who are behaving improperly, who are unarmed and killed by police in 2 years. 2 years. What's that, 104 weeks? 104 weeks is 2 weeks. Come on, man.
This is crazy.
Y'all, I don't know what to say anymore. It is getting to a level of sheer embarrassment. And people always tell me, Brandon, you need to go out there to Chicago. I don't live there. All I can do is facilitate things like Brexit and other
you need to go out.
people that live there.
Right. You need to go out to Chicago and get shot. Okay. Okay. You need to go out to Chicago on the corner and get shot.
My responsibility is to make videos like this to wake people up and get them thinking. Because to be honest, the fastest way to change this is not going to be through law enforcement. It's not going to be through some program that they set up and facility that they pay for. It's going to be a cultural rethinking. It's going to be personal responsibility.
Red pill.
That's what's going to change these things.
But they're not trying to
get
get
doing it to these kids, and they ain't nobody even snitching.
Not.
They know who did it. They know who killed these kids. They know
Right.
who's snitching.
Right.
It's going to have to be personal responsibility. Now, before anybody get on the bandwagon and say, "Oh, no, it's unique to the black community."
Exactly.
I name a white Chicago anywhere. Name a white community that have as many shootings as Chicago. There's nowhere close.
Don't even talk about the
Nowhere
Italian.
close. I was a police officer. I patrolled the trailer parks. The gang violence and gun violence is nowhere near what it is in the black community.
At all.
Now, they have their own issues, but the gang violence is unique to the black community, black and Hispanic
Especially.
community. In the case of Chicago, it's majority black.
Exactly.
Name a rash of violence in the white community that has led to the death of so many kids. And all y'all want to talk about, the school thing, when the kids go into school, y'all know what I'm talking about. There's more kids losing their life on the streets in Chicago alone than any school situation that has happened.
Ever.
But nobody want to talk about it. Nobody want to be honest about it. We got to start being honest, ladies and gentlemen. We got to start calling it for what it is. We got to start putting our money where our mouth at. And we need to donate and help out Sakaria and her family.
Please.
Now, Tyler Perry said he was going to pay for some of the burial, but I mean, she still need a headstone. She still need all of these things. Their car is totaled. Their car is totaled. It's shot up. They took a car for evidence. Her mama don't have a phone because they had to take her phone for evidence. She needs a phone. She needs a car, at least something to get her started. You know, we knew somebody in the area, or knew somebody that knew somebody there. We all communicated. And
what is Bottom saying about any of that?
From a local car
She just
dealership.
stand there and emote.
It's gonna need some help, man.
I don't.
And we can help George Floyd out, Rayshard Brooks. We can help all these grown tail men out here committing crimes and resisting arrest, but we can't help the children.
Nope.
We can't help the little kids.
Right.
And that's crazy. And if I find more GoFundMes for these kids that are verified, I've verified hers. Find some that are verified.
Right.
And I know the story behind it. I'll just continue to link it as time go on to this video. Hopefully this video will be played in perpetuity. And I'll link it because we need to start doing something what we can.
I'll link it too.
The leaders in
Chicago
and in
what is Al
Baltimore
Sharpton
and in Atlanta,
about it?
they are the ones that need to be
I'm
boots on the ground doing something.
I said the same thing.
Now we can do what we are capable of doing from our end. But everybody in America can't just go to
globalist
Atlanta.
paid for by one of them.
Atlanta should be worried about Atlanta. People who are politicians, the churches, where y'all at?
Let me link it.
I don't even hear church leaders talking about this. It should be publicized. It should be all over social media. All of the NFL players, NBA players, all these corny, cowardice people,
right,
who are running their mouth on a day-to-day basis about oppression, y'all should be down there.
Because y'all oppressed.
Y'all are millionaires.
Rich, oppressed people.
And y'all the main ones running your mouth. Some of y'all live in Chicago. Where's Chicago Bears at? Where the Chicago Bears football team at?
You live in Chicago.
Front page news. They should be all over it. Instead of taking a knee during the game, take your out there and take a knee in Chicago, where you live. I can go in on this all
I'm
day,
dropping the link, y'all.
I really want y'all to support the young
Appreciate
lady.
y'all.
It's a very sad situation. All these young people that lost their lives. They ain't never gonna get a t-shirt.
Donate.
They
All
ain't
that.
never gonna be on nobody's uniform. Black Lives Matter ain't never gonna raise $100 million for a funeral.
Donate to these kids, y'all.
They ain't gonna get 3 funerals televised. When we first heard about this, reached out to Sakaria's mom and them, and nobody had reached out to him. Nobody had helped him at all. Then finally Tyler Perry did it. But you know Tyler Perry had to do that because he paid for a criminal's funeral. Rayshard Brooks was a thug that beat his wife and kids and was on probation, should have been in prison. They let him out due to COVID-19, and he gets a DUI and assaults police officers.
See, I didn't know that.
And Tyler Perry pays for his funeral.
Jesus,
You better pay for this young girl funeral.
Hey, law enforcement get the inside.
I'm fed up, y'all. I'm fed up. I'm sick of it. This stuff is common sense. I grew up in the hood. This is common sense. We need to focus on our own community. Focus on your own schools. Focus on residency in your own community. Stop selling them drugs on the street. Stop that game banging. Pull your doggone pants up and act like you got some sense. That's how you gonna change this stuff. And everybody in the hood know it. Sitting up here being fake, pointing at the police and the white man.
The white man.
When I was growing up, man, I ain't never thought about no white people.
Thank you.
I was worried about other thugs in the hood. That you get caught on Lil Jon and you got the wrong colors on. You may get jumped, you may get killed. I mean, nobody know.
Right.
Somebody may run up on you, do a drive-by. You get caught somewhere with the wrong colors on. You disrespect somebody on accident. You get gunned down, bro. There ain't no apologies. There ain't no I'm sorry. It's real out in the streets, man. And everybody that have ever experienced the hood at any point in their life, they know this. Why are y'all lying, man? Why y'all being fake? Y'all just being fake.
Right.
Tell
Fake
the
is the
truth.
new black.
We know we got internal issues.
Thank you.
Now, if we would prioritize them, maybe I wouldn't have to make a video about it. But y'all should be ashamed of yourself talking about these white people and talking about police officers. When you know the dope boys in the community, you know who the shooters in the community, you know who the killers are. They brag about it. You know who got racks and racks, driving Rolls Royce, got gold chains on their neck in the hood. Y'all know you ain't holding your kids accountable when they go to school. You know you ain't going to the PTA meetings. Quit lying to yourself. I'm done, man. I'm done. Because I'm going to get mad on this video. But these things need to be said. And I'm sick of people being fake. I'm sick of it. I don't hear nothing about President Trump. Oh, Trump, he's so racist, the white man, oppression, the KKK. Shut up. Shut up. You ain't worried about no KKK. I ain't never seen no KKK member. But I ain't seen some goons before. I done been around goons before. I ain't never been around no KKK member. Y'all so fake is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's got to stop, man. These
It's
kids,
not funny,
this
but
should be the
it's
number one priority of Black Lives Matter. They should focus on these kids, focus on the community. Put that police stuff
bizarre.
aside, focus on the community. You get back to that later. If they really cared. But they don't give a flying flip, and you and I know it.
Be good.
They don't care.
I would have cursed.
They never did. They never will. This is about politics for Black Lives Matter. This is about political correctness. This is about getting Democrats into office. This is about chaos and confusion, dismantling the patriarchy, dismantling capitalism. They have a mission, then they don't give a flying flip about Black people.
Thank you.
They don't care.
Thank you.
Because when they die in the streets, in the hood, they don't give a flip.
We picking up their bodies.
And I'm sick of it. Going around here protesting and being stupid. Y'all done kill more Black people than the doggone police.
Right. And we got to deal
You
with it.
sorry son of a guns. I'm sick of it.
It's crazy.
Out here looking stupid. Ain't got no mission, no purpose. Just stupid. You got Black people looking stupid out here. And instead of you looking at these Antifa and saying, look, y'all better get away from us. Y'all just messing with them. Going in people's churches. Black Lives Matter on the sidewalk. Go put that in the hood in Chicago. Go put Black Lives Matter on the ground over there in Chicago, Illinois, on the south side.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, you ain't gonna do that. Y'all not gonna put that over there.
Nah.
You ain't gonna put it in the black. The Black people need to know that Black Lives Matter
First.
Before you point at the white man, Black people need to appreciate other Black people. Now,
Thank you.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm furious.
Woo.
I'm furious, man.
Lord.
This hit home. This hit to my heart, man. Because I didn't grow. I grew up around this stuff. Everybody know what it is, but ain't nobody want to keep it real. That's why we can't change nothing.
Nope.
Steady pointing at everybody else. You know what it is,
sir.
And you say it, and you're a coon. You'll sell out Uncle Tom. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm gonna tell you.
Speaking of, I need to watch
God
the
put the truth
movie.
in my heart, and I'm gonna put the truth. I'm gonna get the truth to you.
I have
That's all
it.
I know how to do. I ain't kissing your butt. I'm not playing no games. I'm telling the truth. Anyway, man, y'all
started
write a comment
watching
in the
it,
comment
but-
section. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Visit the Outstatement Store.
He was heated.
Don't.
Your boy was heated. But y'all get the point. Hey, y'all cannot. What was your perspective on that? And that literally solidified the fact that I'm not giving up on a good fight. It's just that I was just that video specifically after knowing that my old chief of police, his grandson was one of the 9 kids killed within the 4th of July weekend. Solidified everything on how I felt on the situation.
It's horrific. I think the good people in these areas that think that the area is going to get better, they need to wise up fast. Haul what they can in their car, just get out of there. Be done with it. Property prices are already going to be crap. No one's going to want to buy their place. No one wants to live in these Democrat controlled areas when this leadership is protecting violent rioters, but arresting people trying to protect themselves.
JT, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, Tatum was mad.
But right.
He deals with this stuff too much.
Yep, go ahead, Autumn.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Because the Democrat mayors and the leaders, they don't want it to stop.
Ironically.
They don't, they're going to do whatever is politically expedient, including letting these kids. I mean, Chicago is a war zone daily.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't isolated shootings.
Chicago, New York,
before Ferguson, before George Floyd. You can go down the line. Chicago already had a problem.
And now they're hitting record numbers.
But it looks like the other cities are competing. Atlanta,
New York,
Minnesota, Seattle. I don't even know how. I think Seattle is going to start, because all the talk about the defunding the police. What do you think that's going to do?
Disband.
Is that going to make the criminals
it's
run
actually,
for the hills?
It's funny because I had a discussion with a Democratic colleague of mine that I work with, manager at my AutoZone. He told me the dumbest thing you could do on any side of any political spectrum is to disband the police. That's he said his quote unquote words were, "That's the dumbest. You should be outraged." He said, what he said? He said, they lost their minds. I said, well, they're pushing it right now. He said, it's the dumbest thing they ever came up with. Of course. If you get rid of the police, I said, guess what? You're gonna have the NFAC, not fucking around coalition, being your police. And what are you gonna do then? Because we didn't even talk about them.
They're going to replace it with something else something far worse, whether it's on the government level or whether it's these people in the community. Like,
right.
I think Minneapolis is going to end up with some form of Sharia law. It's already in New York. They already have neighborhoods that are under that kind of.
I'm not taking no shots at NFAC because y'all already got over 200 members. And every last one of your members are armed, and I don't need you shooting bullets at me because I disagree with your political agenda. But I don't agree with the way you approach your message.
People are asking for Texas. Give me a break. I don't think that freebie handouts.
That was my point. That even Malcolm X said, asking the white liberal and even not beyond asking, listening to the compromises of your suggestions from the white liberals that give your agenda legitimacy to even finance you, because the police are majority white in which the jurisdictions in which you reside. So the fact that you intentionally perceive yourself as a threat towards the establishment in which you try to behold, whichever way you try to go, even trying to suggest that you demand land and area in Texas, as you said, I got Texas friends.
That's a hate group.
They not going for that.
That's a hate. I'm just
letting you know from yonder. They're not going for that. For the number one reason is this. The reason why they're not going for that is because they see you coming from afar as a far left extension from the Black Panthers extreme part, not regular Black Panthers, but extreme part extended with the Hebrew Israelites, in which B. Tatum extended on one of his videos. Y'all can check that out on his profile. But that my specific point was that they don't even understand the fact that they're saying small things like, well, when a white guy pull up and you basically telling him you got to get out of here, your ancestors,
Yeah, but that's right.
If they was to flip that around, and white people was to say, "Oh, you got to get out of here, your ancestors." If you was to flip that around, the National Guard would be out there, as B. Tatum said. The National Guard will be out there. It'll be mayhem, because now you got support from your governor, your mayors.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're on your side, and they're saying that, oh, it's a hate crime. Blah blah blah. It's 200 people coming with guns talking about your ancestors. Yada yada. Like
they were in a gated park.
They're going. Nobody's there.
They're a bunch of idiots.
Nobody's there. You're going to the outskirts of the place in which you try to say you're trying to protest, which had Klan members over 100 years ago. There are Klan members there since the 1918s. It's 1920. I mean, it's 2020. So you're fighting a ghost, literally. ABL said it. Tatum said it. They're fighting a ghost that been there over 100 years in a land in which you haven't seen the KKK rally there physically.
But how can they whine about the KKK when they're supporting a party that praised factions of the KKK?
It's just the cultist ideology tells you not to question the cultist ideology.
Exactly. If you question us, you're against us. One of the leaders, which I forget his name because it has some resemblance to do with hip hop culture, but one of the leaders of this organization definitely was basically saying that if you question them, you're nothing. You're nothing. You forget you. So if you have a group of over 200 people saying forget you with arms, and I just don't agree with you politically, you better not show up on my doorstep. I know that much. And I'm letting you know now that every faction, it's terrible because they got chapters, factions. How you just birthing and crapping out organizations overnight? Like certain people have to check upon what's going on, because you could close your eyes and wake up overnight. It's a new rebellion that came out.
All Atlanta natives. I think they probably found each other in like some sort of online forum, and a lot of them drove overnight to be there. None of that made any sense.
You are right, and actually, it became a shared pandemonium in which tons of people could share a video, attach the same ideology, and now you suggest yourself to being a legit organization based on linking up with somebody who already has legit foundations and spreading your message. So, like I say, who knows when it comes to the organizations? I know a little bit about it because I'm in a fraternity. To start your organization, you need a 501c tax filed, approved. Once it's approved, you can do whatever you want based on your guidelines of your organization printed out in your manifesto. So when these black BLM is also 501c. When they get their donations, they will get a tax write-off of when they have promotions on the commercials, leaders, chapters, all of these things in certain areas, they're getting benefits. So if you don't create something that is opposing it on paper, they'll win. It's nothing we can do. Nothing. You could just like B Tatum said, you just messing with them. You just like seriously, you're just messing with them. You let them come up on and then just Antifa. You just messing with them. They coming in your they burning your cities down. They burning your iPod store down. They burning your Starbucks. Everything. So if you don't understand what's going on through paper and legislation, you'll miss it. And you'll think it's just a verbal agenda. It's beyond that. The worst part about it is, especially if you can't defend your home with your rifle and your home gets raided. That's coming up next.
The criminals are being given permission to be criminals. It's going to start driving in.
This is crazy.
They're going to start driving in. Like they're going to start driving in for hours. Back, hey, St. Louis takes guns away from their white people. There we go. Let's hit up that rich neighborhood.
I never thought in my life. I'm just being honest. I never thought in my life I haven't seen it today. Like, what?
Weak cops, weak government.
Honestly, where's everybody gonna go? Like, once we run out of, I mean, if it continues to spread,
these people are going to move. The smart people are going to move to all the red states, like Indiana. Like Indiana never shut down.
It's crazy. The person that cut my hair is a Democrat, and he told me, well, to be honest, the states you regularly run better when they're Republican. How are you Democrat, voting for Democrat, and know that the state is ran better and people's lives
I'm thinking
are
you need to move to rural areas.
That's crazy. That's crazy to just say.
We've already been seeing for years people kind of like moving out of the cities because they realize the city life
population centers.
But after how horribly like these major cities have handled everything, people are just going to start packing up and leaving.
I believe it. I believe they're already leaving. I mean, like, what is it? I think people have already been leaving New York.
They can't sell their houses anymore. Who the hell is going to want to live in Minneapolis today? Like, who's looking at Minneapolis real estate? Oh my goodness, I want to move to Minneapolis. They have no cops.
Political people only that want to one up on the game so that they can get new footage on what's going to happen for the new history because they're in the new history. That's it. And that's all. I'm about to drop this one. Stand by, people.
Gadgets, your wicked awesome source for Second Amendment news. That was for you, Izzy. Hope you liked it. So let's get into what happened yesterday. The McCluskeys. They were served with a search warrant yesterday, and the rifle.
Unhighlight the comment.
During that now infamous event in St. Louis, that was seized.
I got you.
The firearm that the wife.
What'd you say, Wesley?
I was asking.
In the
can you
possession
put
of
the comment down?
As of last night, and word is that is a non-functioning firearm. I guess that's one way to call people's bluff. So let's get into this a little bit. As always, if you're a member of this channel and have been for a while, you understand my point of view is more of the investigator's side. Because not only am I a firearms instructor, but I've been a law enforcement officer for a very long time. And when I made that video about what happened 2 days after the incident and told you guys that from the side of the law, if they saw what they said they saw and heard what they said they heard, then their response was justified. Now, as soon as this search warrant came out, was being served, was yesterday afternoon in St. Louis. And if you're watching today,
defend your homes.
I should know this without even looking at my watch. Today is June 11th. It's going to be a quick-ish video because it is Mrs. Guns and Gadgets' birthday today. So if I don't get too long, hell hath no fury, gentlemen. So the search warrant happened yesterday, and right away I was getting people sending me messages. Hey, look what's going on. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, you were wrong. Well, I guess if somebody's right or wrong is really subjective, but again, my video was made legally speaking, and to this date, as of right now, it's 3:05 p.m. Eastern. They haven't had any criminal charges lodged against them. Now, I am in no way sticking up for the couple. I've been reading things since then, and maybe they're not the best of people. But again, the Second Amendment doesn't mention in there that you have to be a stand-up person, or you have to be your neighbor's best friend, or even have to be conservative, because they're not, all right? However, in viewing the videos that were streamed by all of the people there at the protest, there were angles that came out where people were making threats. They heard things like "you're next," or "we're going to kill you and live in your home." Those guys and gals, those are threats. And with 300 to 500 people in front of your house, and certain people of them calling you out and saying they're going to kill you, that is a communicated threat. The intent is there, and the ability to carry that out is there, which would legally justify their response. So now let's dive further into that. First off, as I have re-upped my new year under the USCCA, this is exactly the scenario that having the USCCA being a member can actually help you with. So if you want to look into it, they do help the channel out. That's uscca.com/GNG.
I'm a member.
Links down below as well. But having something like that, whether you want the USCCA or any other, there's a couple of them out there that do it. Pick what's best for you, but this isn't the exact example of where that type of coverage comes in big. So I've read a couple articles on this, and apparently they've changed out their attorney, and their current attorney has reiterated that they have not there are no criminal charges. They just came in with a search warrant for those two particular firearms. Now, again, I'm going to talk from the investigative side, from history that I know probably a little bit of what's going on. Again, I am not in Missouri, and I do not know Missouri law like it's the back of my hand, nor did I take a Missouri law exam for this video. But generally speaking, anytime you are charged with a firearm issue,
call your lawyer.
Brandishing, all the way up to threatening, to self-defense shooting, or flip the side to murder, your gun is going to be seized for the investigation. And even if you're found to be in the right, like the St. Louis police, after the initial investigation, said they didn't do anything wrong, they didn't violate any laws. In fact, the mob was guilty of intimidation by a mob. So even if you're found free of any criminal responsibility in a scenario, chances are the investigation is still going to happen, and they're still going to take the firearm until that investigation has seen its way through the process. Now, the Attorney General in St. Louis is super anti-gun. And the second that this happened, the comment was like, I'm going to paraphrase because you guys, if you live there, you know the quote, but it was something like, we're not going to tolerate threatening gestures towards people practicing or exercising their First Amendment. Yep. However, when people are lodging threats from that protest, it's no longer a peaceful protest, and it's no longer covered by law. Once you make those threats and have the tool to carry out that, you have just violated a law. So an anti-gun AG looking to try to jam these people up, because right now the country's focusing on this and saying, well, wait a second. If a mob comes to my house, you mean that Second Amendment can protect me? Well, maybe I'm not so anti-gun after all. And that's the legal side of it. The legal part of this and the political side of this is that the lefties, the anti-gunners, not even lefties, I know lefties that have guns, but the anti-gunners, this scenario could shatter what their foundation is. No, Mike Bloomberg thinks this is a bad thing. But if you mean that constitutional, that Constitution actually means something, and the Bill of Rights in there, and the right given to us by our Creator to protect ourselves.
Oh no!
We can actually do that.
Wow!
So they obviously want to make this couple look as bad as possible.
Of course.
So no charges as of right now, and the firearms will probably be seized throughout the investigation. The AG's office is looking into it because they weren't satisfied that the local police said, hey, they didn't do anything wrong. They were facing a threat and acted accordingly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the side of the investigator. Now, could charges be drummed up against them by an anti-gun attorney general? Yeah, absolutely. But with a solid attorney, they can beat these charges relatively. I mean, I don't want to say it's easy, because anytime you're defending yourself from prison, ultimately, nothing's easy. But all they got to do is subpoena all those streams from the media outlets that they were posting them on, and it could be easier to build a case that, again, your perception can never be wrong, that they perceived that they were in grave danger. So now, that's the investigator side. Now, the wife's gonna get crazy. It's her birthday, so this is gonna be short. The instructor side, yeah, they did some screwed up things, and that's why you should take some training. Absolutely. Right. But it's still too early for everybody to say, "Ha! See, I told you, I got you." See, they had a warrant served on them. It's way too early, guys and gals. If they don't have any criminal charges filed against them, and they took the warrant just to make sure that the guns or whatever, I don't even know the laws in Missouri, but just make sure they're legal. Blah 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 blah.
Make
Even
sure
though they
they're
shouldn't
legal.
be doing that.
Well, that's a very thin line there.
Firearms. But ultimately, until a criminal charge has been lodged and then proven, and then on the criminal side, for those who aren't aware of how the process works,
you get AR and walk out with
probable
it.
cause is the level in America in which you can
I
be
bought
arrested
an AR for
for
$1,000.
a
Walked
crime
out with
or
it
a
that day.
potential crime, correct?
So,
and
as
probable
long as you ain't
cause
got no
dealing with
felonies,
the
it don't
legalities of
matter.
everything and the thresholds that law enforcement need to obtain before they can do certain
I got
things.
2 AR.
Probable cause is just slightly more than mere suspicion. It's basically 51%. So if it's 51%, it's more likely than not that they broke this law, whatever it is. Could be urinating in public. If you're standing there and there's a puddle of urine next to you and it's dribbling up your leg, well, then unless somebody just some witness says you just got peed on, like R. Kelly was hanging out with you, then it's more likely than not that you were just urinating because of what the evidence shows. You can be charged because of that, but that doesn't mean you're going to be found guilty in a court of law.
Right.
Court of law is beyond reasonable doubt. So to armchair quarterback what's going on right now, because a search warrant was carried out at the house is way too early, guys and gals. So until they're charged criminally, they're still in the good. They're still in that green zone. Just an attempt to try to get everybody to see how the legalese is going to work in this. Yeah, it's an investigation, and the attorney general, whose office is running it, is very anti-gun, and they appoint their attorneys that work underneath them. So they're facing a bias. But as long as they have a decent lawyer, hey guys, go get some coverage, whether it's Law Shield, USCCA, or whatever.
Thank you. Get a lawyer.
Helps along the way.
I got mine.
And
USCCA.
Again, doesn't matter if these people are good people or not. We have rights.
Police lawyers.
And just because
I got two kind of lawyers.
Certain percentage of the country doesn't like the rights we have,
but you're not two kind of people.
So until we see each other again, y'all, I hope you're having a great day. It is humid as hell in here without the air conditioning on.
But you understand.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond that,
it's like everybody's reaching some discomfort. The heat.
Exactly. Hey.
It's kind of early.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I guess not.
So, like you said, hey, he wouldn't start any businesses in the climate that we're in right now. And me, as far as physical businesses and facilities in the inner city, hell no, I wouldn't. But I would start businesses in a rural area or an area that is close to a shore. And that's my honesty. Me just going fishing lately. Businesses on by shore are booming, but businesses in rural areas are booming, but businesses in inner cities are dramatically impacted. So that's just common sense. If you have rioting and looting, they're going to be in your inner city. They're not going to be in the rural areas. Who's going to loot a rural? Why are you looting a rural area if you're going to loot a rural area? Like rural. My Put it this way: my mouth doesn't work in the way that allows me to say
It's like lemon extract, right?
Raw. My tongue.
They say
My-
country
my-
area.
Country
area.
Country. Raw. Raw
I
area.
don't think anybody's gonna be looting and robbing those areas.
Are you gonna loot a farm? Are you gonna loot
They'll try that once until the bull finds them.
Are you gonna loot the fishers and the farmers? Are you gonna loot the crabbers? Seriously? Are you gonna loot the whole seafood complex on the shore that gives you the daggone seafood, knowing daggone well you don't want to go to the grocery store, eat a bag of chips every day. You want to get some kind of real food and substance in your system so you get real protein. Be real with yourself. Like, I literally, and the only reason why I said that recently was because I just recently been fishing Chesapeake Bay, 30 minutes offshore. And I realized just eating that food, letting that food pass through me, and having an awakening that I've been missing the feeling of eating off the land, off the shore. I've been missing it.
What have you been eating?
Huh?
What have you been eating?
I went fishing lately, and I ate my catch. And when I ate my catch, I had like an awakening, basically telling me, you need to do more of this. You need to hunt your food, eat your food. You don't necessarily have to go off of the grocery store to get the same exact kind of fish that you actually buy at the grocery store. If you what I was catching was the literal exact same thing. I didn't even realize it. It was the exact same kind of fish that I was buying in the market. So I actually was catching fresh fish that I've been eating processed, sent to the seafood guys to give me that. Man, I could have been doing that the whole time. And it was cheap at that. But as far as the real experience, get the real experience, you get way more fish. Cut them, gut them, eat them, whatever. Sure. But it's the same experience as honey. You're getting your own product in which you don't have to deal with the processing part of it. You're doing it yourself. And this is something that we're missing in America. We're not being taught this section of America. Fish, hunt, depend on yourself, self-government. You don't have to necessarily depend on the grocery store. You don't. I'm just being honest. Even when I watched Uncle Tom, it was a young lady that had her own cows. She fished. Her own family. They had their own horses. They had everything. Chicken and vegetables. So if you got your own horses, cows, goats, chicken and vegetables, what do you need? You literally have the grocery store to yourself, natural. It's up to you to diminish what you honestly should be preserved.
Where can I go watch this?
Huh?
Where can I go watch this? Is this free online?
Oh, come on now. To be honest, I did. I could pull it up, and the only reason why I can pull it up is because I pay for it. To be honest, but you do have to pay for it. UncleTom.com, and I did share the link before. I'll share it again here. You gotta pay a small fee, probably about $20. You can have it for life, and also buy DVD, so on and so forth. But it does come on the website. I'm about to share the link in the bio, but I'm definitely gonna share the information right now. But I appreciate you actually trying to get that real information out, because we need more of that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it. I've just been busy lately.
Yeah,
I'm always busy. It's a busy time.
They give you a code, so
okay. I just pulled up the website.
Yeah.
On demand DVD.
Exactly. So they give you the DVD version and they give you the on demand. If you do the online version, which I did, they give you a code. They send you a code. You can log in. Boom, 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 bam, boom. Kind of situation. But yeah, mine is automatic. I'm about to pull it up. Let me share this real quick. Hold on. I need after this, disclaiming all things that are positive. We are on 2 platforms. This platform will be flagged based on this video and me knowing mathematics and the internet. I'm gonna need you to give me more information on the coding on copyright. So I won't have my important information demolished.
Yeah. It's not hard to get around fair use as long as you're not like streaming the whole of Avengers or something.
Yeah, nah. All right, here we go. Hope this works. Let's try it out. Check it out.
I care deeply about Black people and the issues of Black people. But I care deeply about the issues of all people. I want to look at things objectively. When I look at what policies I believe will help not only Black people, but what would help all people, I voice that. And because I stand in opposition, that makes me I used to get very offended and upset whenever people would call me an Uncle Tom. I think I'm in a place now when someone calls me that, like I kind of pity them because of their ignorance. It just shows that they haven't actually read the book.
Right.
Whenever someone calls you an Uncle Tom, what they're trying to communicate is that either you just do not like Black people and you see all Black people as trash, or they're trying to communicate that, oh, you're just trying to fit in with white people. You're trying to be accepted among whites. And so I'm going to call you this derogatory word to put you in your place and to remind you, you will never be accepted by whites. You'll always be just a Black nigga.
There's people who find my Instagram and comment on it just to call me Uncle Tom, House Negro. I never thought that I would be called, such racist.
Me neither. But I had
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom Coon.
House
Bootleg.
Negro.
Chugging Ninja.
Uncle Tom
Ah,
and Coon.
ah.
I have a Coon Award over there. Coon of the Year
You got a
Award.
Coon of the Year award. My man.
For Indians like me, you're an Uncle Patel.
J.O.
Uncle Lucas.
Praise be the white God and his son.
Got from Get Out. They put his face on my post.
I find that the African American experience for me has been, for the most part, very good.
I think the funniest thing, the most absurd thing, is a Black white supremacist. It's like the old Chappelle skit, Clayton Bigsby. It must be real.
People say crazy things. Leftists say the craziest
Shit. See you.
Don't try
But that's what you're saying.
That is not what I'm saying.
That is what you're saying.
That is.
Come on, man.
I know you, Lenore. That's what you're
Lenore.
saying. You sound like
You don't know me.
Okay, and guess what? You sound like all them Uncle Tom.
I knew
How
it.
about that?
I knew it.
Ah.
Lenore, it's good to hear from you. It's good to hear from you.
My girl Lenore.
Drop dead.
All right.
Ah.
Thank you, Lenore. What a
Lenore.
And Uncle Tom is somebody who has
She nice.
by
She nice.
embracing the white man, by becoming a Republican, by rejecting the idea that you're a victim,
She
by
nice.
supporting things like hard work, accountability, and low taxes,
Right.
by refusing to think of yourself as a black person first, as opposed to as an American who is black.
Your skin color should dictate how you think.
Is that
what
right?
You say.
The only way I can operate as a human being is via my skin color. I can't operate via my intelligence or the things I have accomplished. My resume should be I'm black.
And Uncle Tom has traditionally been a black person that tried to serve and scurry favor with white people.
So they believe that I want to be accepted in the white community, kind of like the house Negro back in slavery. That I'm in the
All right.
house.
I need to go to bed now. It's almost 2 a.m.
Suck up to them and leave.
I'm gonna be signing off.
Believe that other blacks can be independent.
Put a message in the
thinkers,
chat.
Or
guys.
stand up.
Don't.
Or stand up for.
Oh,
Thank you guys for having me on.
always happy to be here, DJ, but it's getting late, dude.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you so
Anything
much.
for pushing the good message, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey.
All right, guys, have a good night or good rest of the weekend. Stay cool.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace.